Today we're going to talk about scientific notation. Scientific notation is basically shorthand for very large and very small numbers. Now today we're only going to talk about large numbers. Scientific notation is used a lot in math and science. For example, we know that the distance from the Earth to the Sun is approximately 93 million miles. It takes a long time just to write 93 million miles. Now, if I was going to write that in scientific notation, I would simply write it as 9.3 times 10 to the 7th power. Simple. But you're probably thinking, there has to be some trick to this. Well, I suppose there is. Now, in my class, the tricks in math are basically the patterns and rules that we follow in order to solve problems. Now, the pattern in this, in order to get 9.3 times 10 to the 7th power, is that we simply have to take the decimal and move it to the left to where there's only one digit left. All right, that's the pattern. And then the rule is that you're going to take the number that's left over, minus the zeros, times the power of 10, how many times we moved it over. So let me show you here. Following the pattern, one digit left of the decimal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Leaving our decimal right there. So we have 9.3, these are the digits that are left, getting rid of our zeros, times 10 to the 7th power because we moved it over 7 spaces. Now let's put the trick into action here. All right? We have this number, 459,000. Now we take the decimal, which is here in a whole number, and we're going to move it over following the pattern to where there's only one number to the left of the decimal. So we're going to move it over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, leaving these digits left. So we have 4.59, that's this. We moved the decimal over 5 spaces, so it's going to be times 10 to the 5th power. The patterns and rules here are simple to follow. So let's take another practice number, 8,700,000. So we have our decimal here, following our pattern, moving our decimal over to where there's one number to the left of the decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, looking at it maybe a little backwards, I know that the answer is going to be times 10 to the 6th power because I moved the decimal over 6 times. Now, this part, without the decimals, 8,700,000. is 8.7 times 10 to the 6th power. Now, let's take it a step further. Let's look at this in real action here. Now, if we go to geodistance.com, I pull up Findlay Junior High, which is where we are in Chicago Ridge, Illinois. Now, it's fun to look at where we are in class to distances locally. Now, one of the big things that everybody knows about here in Chicago Ridge is they have a giant blue water tower. So I'm always interested in knowing what the distance is from Findlay Junior High to the water tower as the crow flies in a straight line. And geodistance.com gives us that luxury. So I'm going to simply go to a park that is close by. And then, so I go to this park and I know that the water tower is due west. All right, so I can basically slide this over and I see this very recognizable water tower right here. Now, all I have to do with that bubble on Findlay Junior High, that green bubble that was on Findlay Junior High, all I have to do is tap and it'll tell me the exact distance on a straight line to where the water tower is. And all I have to do is tap the water tower and it tells me in feet how far it is. And our distance in feet is 3,392 feet. Now, we can take that information and put it in our data chart. So, our data chart here, so how far is it from Findlay to the blue water tower? Well, it's 3,392 feet. Now, we're going to write this number eventually in scientific notation. So we're going to round this to the nearest hundred, 3,400 feet. Now, we can take this number with our decimal right here, following our patterns and our rules. We can move our decimal over to where there's one number to the left, 1, 2, 3, which leaves this number, 3.4 times 10, we moved it over 3 times, to the third power. Now, let's take it on a larger scale. Back to Findlay Junior High. Now, I want to know how far we are from the Hollywood sign in California in yards. Okay, so I'm simply going to have our bubble right here, which is our starting point, and then I have Hollywood sign up here, and I simply tap go. Now we are hovering over the top of the Hollywood sign. Now all I have to do is tap on the Hollywood sign, and it'll tell us how far in a straight line it is from Findlay Junior High to the Hollywood sign. Now, it's a big number. So from Findlay Junior High to the Hollywood sign is 3,056,422 yards. Now, let's take that number and let's fill out our data sheet. So how far from Findlay to the Hollywood sign? Well, the distance is 3,056,422 yards. Now, we're going to take this number, we're going to round it to the 10,000ths place. We're going to round it to right here. So we have 3 million, and that 5 rounds up because of that 6, 60,000. And then we could take this number and we could put it in scientific notation following our rules and our patterns. Now, the decimal is right here. We simply move it to the left so that there's 1 digit left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know my answer is going to be times 10 to the 6th power with the numbers, excluding the zeros at the end, 3.06 times 10 to the 6th power. And that is scientific notation.